separate from economic sanctions more generally, which of course have been used, and maybe in some instances, sanctioning a specific type of economic transaction might be more appropriate than leveling a massive tariff on all goods coming from a country. But that is where he's coming in. Now, there is a little bit of it's a little bit understandable about why he's demanding that he's going to impose tariffs, because one of his biggest critiques of European countries, India, China, has been the fact that they continue to buy oil from Russia, and that has enabled Russia to continue to fund its war machine. That has been a key part, that despite the level of sanctions that were imposed going back to 2022, and of course Russia was already under sanctions prior to that, including sanctions that Trump himself had imposed during his first term, but these sanctions ramped up with the full invasion of Ukraine. But despite that, countries continue to buy Russian energy, Russian oil. European countries, despite the fact that, yes, they have reduced the amount of Russian energy that they've been purchasing, they are still acquiring energy from Russia. And countries like India have really just taken advantage of the fact that Russia has been selling this oil at a discount. And India, in some ways, and we can talk more about India, but I kind of view India as recently being the epitome of the Realpolitik country. They're like, you know what, we're not condoning the war, but we might as well take advantage of the cheap energy. And I think that that's been a big part of where they've come in. But I think that has now led Trump to say, no, that's not acceptable, because the best way to stop Russia is to completely cut off their ability to sell oil. So as long as there are some European countries continuing to buy any Russian oil or gas, as long as India continues to do that, and of course China, but China is in kind of a very different category. European countries are, of course, fighting Russia, which is where he comes into, you're fighting yourselves. India, as I said, they're kind of like just on the outskirts and being like, we're not involved, so we're just going to buy oil. China is in a different category because China is in many ways assisting Russia. They're an ally of Russia. So their situation is a little more, I guess you could say, understandable about why they've been buying Russian energy. But because of U.S. connections to China, that's why they're also under this target by Trump.